Okay, so we're recording, and yes, I'm happy to answer anything as far as, so Lisa asked the question about free groups, and or brought up the thing that brought up the idea of free groups and what is that, and you know, that whatever. So go for it. Yes, please ask your questions. Oh my gosh.
I'm going to come where it's just a little bit quieter.
That's okay.
Hopefully there's less background noise. So my general question was just on the topic of free groups and the benefits of them. I'm wondering, at what point do you transition your people from your free group into a non-free group, whatever you want to call it, themed group?
Yes.
And I know you and I have already kind of talked about the benefits of just having one Facebook group and changing the general theme so that people don't get lost and switching from one group to another. So I guess my question is multifaceted in that, is everyone that's then in whatever that group is, do they have to buy in somehow in order to get into the non-free group? Does that make sense?
Yes, it absolutely does. So to answer your question about like how long is a person in a free group versus like what, you know, a full-size group, the most simple answer is that when I have a free group, it's only for a specified amount of time, and then I'm done with it. Like, I'm like, I don't necessarily like cancel the group or like delete it or whatever, but I'm not in there anymore. I don't post there constantly. So like I would have like a week long, like a 7-day group, like Monday to Sunday. Or if you wanted to do something to where you can show people that, hey, guess what? You actually can have a healthy lifestyle through a weekend. So you could, you know, plan accordingly for that. But basically I have a set amount of time that I'm doing a free group, and towards the end of that free group, I contact those people that are in there and ask them about carrying on the momentum, transitioning into my like full-size group, my ongoing, my 365, whatever you want to call it. And in that case, to answer your question about like buying in or whatever, I used to run my groups as it was like, okay, well, if you don't buy a challenge pack, then I'm not going to help you. But I've kind of come to like change my thinking a little bit towards like, I just want to meet you where you're at, with the intention of transitioning you into tools / customership. Now, the people that stick around normally are the ones that have some skin in the game, and that kind of goes with the territory of a free group versus like a paid group, if you want to call it a paid group, like someone that buys a challenge pack. People are going to show up more when they have an investment, like when they have like free groups are great and they're fun, but they're good for like building a community and building trust and that kind of thing with people. But I like, it's not, and it's a good place to transition people in, but I'm not going to like depend on those people to always purchase something, if that makes any sense.
It does. And that, I think, there were a couple points in that video about just the benefits of running a free group and why you would do it, and if you're ready to run one. And I was like, I'm pretty much already running a free group, because like 85-90% of the people in it are not wanting to buy in. And I was, at first, all these people were like, yes, I want to join your group. Yes, I want to join your group. So I was like, all right, we're doing the right thing. I'm going in the right direction. And not that I don't think I'm going in the right direction, but I was surprised how many people were willing to go in for the free group, but didn't want to have any buy-in for anything further.
And I think the thing to remember with that is like, it's easy to start thinking about the fact that you're like, oh, well, I'm getting lots of people are coming to me, and I'm like talking to lots of people, and I have lots of people in my group, and I'm helping people. However, you're basically giving away your service. And is that fair to you? I mean, you put a lot of work into it. And I think it's mainly an idea about like coming to understand like the value of your coaching. like that holds a value. Like, yes, your coaching is free, but that, like, I mean, you're not just doing it for your health. I mean, you are, but you're not, like, you know what I mean? Like, so like, yes, I want to be there for people, and yes, I want to meet them where they're at, but there's also an element of, I expect them to meet me halfway. And the chances of someone who hasn't had any, hasn't had any reason to make an investment of any kind, that doesn't have any skin in the game, like, the chances of them showing up the same way that I would, now granted, we're coming at it from a completely different place because we're coaches, and so, like, this is our deal. So nobody's going to take it as seriously as we do, like, ever. But like, just, I think to me, what helps me whenever I'm like, oh, but I feel bad for asking them to buy something because I just want to help them. Like, I mean, a person that does nails isn't going to be like, please come, let me do your nails for free. Or a person, like, people pay personal trainers to do what we do, essentially. And they actually pay them to do sometimes less than what we do, because we're also giving them meal plans, and we're also checking in on them several times a week, and hunting, so it's a value thing. And to me, like, that helped me kind of get over that hump of, like, maybe not requiring someone to purchase something in order to be in a group with me, but it just kind of put it into a different perspective. And it made me feel a little bit better about being like, so you say that these are the goals you have, but here's how you're not following up with that. And here's how maybe you're not getting the results that you want because you're not showing up in X, Y, and Z. And just kind of being able to kind of hold people's feet to the fire a little bit. And that's really what we're coaches. Yes, we're cheerleaders, but we're coaches first, right? So, like, a cheerleader comes along and is like, hey, y'all are doing great. Like, let's do all the free things and let's have fun. But I mean, essentially, she's so funny. Essentially, like, if we're going to coach and we're going to change people, help people change, then there's an element of being like, you know what? It's okay for me to ask for someone to step up and put some skin in the game. At least after a little while,
Right. No, that all makes sense. I think you and I will probably have to chat further about
Absolutely
what to do next, since I've already got a big old happy group of people that want to engage and are really connecting to one another. But at the same time, not very many of them have really bought in with Beachbody's all the things yet.
Yeah.
So typically, how long do you run a free group?
Mine are usually about a week.
About a week.
Because
you do a week for prep.
And
then,
I mean, honestly, a week is about as much as I can get out of people, if that. So I would say, if you're going to run a group like Monday through Sunday, then I would maybe start the group on Wednesday and do a couple of days of prep, and then be like, okay, on Monday we're hitting this and we're going to do it. And then on, Friday or Saturday, I definitely reach out to those people and say, okay, our group is wrapping up. And I'm checking in, like on Wednesday, that kind of thing. I'm checking in like halfway.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Ahead. Well, I always make sure that they start out good. Like, I check in on after the first day, hey, how'd it go? How do you feel like your first day went? What are your thoughts? How are you doing? Do you need any help? Check in again on Wednesday. What's working? How are you doing on your goals? That kind of stuff. What can we tweak? And then going into the weekend, going like, okay, so this group is coming to an end. Let's talk about momentum, and let's talk about your next step. And let's talk about how we can keep this going and keep working towards your goals, because your goal wasn't just to get healthy in a week. And your goal it's not just going to happen in a week. Like, you've started some healthy habits and you've learned some things. Now let's take that a step further and transition you into the group. What are your goals going into the group? Okay, these are the things that you need to have. to set you up well for that. You know, do you need to continue that for the rest of your life? No. If you decide that you know, Shakeology isn't for you, or Performance Line isn't for you, or whatever, I will meet you where you are. But I believe in these products, and I believe in these tools, and I believe that if you are serious about your health and your journey, and you really want to hone in on those things and take them back to their goal, take them back to their why, then this is going to get you there if you're consistent with it. And I just ask that you give me a month, and if it doesn't work and you don't love it, then you can cancel. I'll help you, and we'll still be friends. But that's kind of how I transition. And then the people that don't want to carry on, I'm like, okay, well, I'm always here for you, and I'm always here if this is something that you decide you need in the future, or if you have anybody else that you can think of that would benefit from what I do, then please send them my way, and I'll check in with you. And then I check in with them again, you know, in a couple months or so. And that's the whole following up.
So do you find that somebody that was in the free group, and then they don't want to go further, okay? They just wanted the free group.
Yeah.
And then when you run another one, then the following month they're there signing up again.
Mm-hmm.
And do you put them back in?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you do?
Yeah, I mean, if they're like, you know, and then but then they re-say the exact same thing again. They hear me say.
So do you use the same script each month
for a free group?
Uh-huh.
No, I would do different free groups, especially if you have someone like coming back all the time. And because I did for a while there, like I actually have not run a free group in a long time, but back when I did them regularly, I would have like the same people always wanting free, always want free. The people love free stuff, but then it's funny because then they don't actually show up. But they say they do, and they think they do, and they like the recipes, but you know what? I'm like, okay, well, they're getting some recipes, and I'll follow up with them next month. And so as far as like what is in a free group and how I do that, like honestly, free groups are fun, and they're supposed to be different, and they're supposed to be, you know, light and like not super intense. And so you could do one about water, or you could do like a book, like, you know, like around a book, or, you know, basically anything that is interesting to you, anything that is relevant to you. For that week, we're gonna have some fun with that thing. And then something different, something new. And that also keeps it interesting for you as well, because then you're not like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm just regurgitating the same information over and over again. So does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm just not sure on what type of stuff to post, that kind of thing.
In a free group?
Yeah.
I mean,
'cause I've gotten so used to having scripts.
Yeah.
That I'm just.
And it is. It's. I mean, you can find stuff on. I mean, it doesn't have to be a long, like a novel every day either. Like, I think that's what I had to kind of come to grips with in my head. Because I was like in Kristen's groups, oh my gosh, for a while there, it was like and I would read it, and I would answer the questions, and I would do all the things, and I would post, you know, like, so because that's just my personality. But honestly, most people are not going to read a whole lot. Like Lisa, you have really good posts in yours about like, and you're sharing like a quick little snippet about a product, or a video. She uses, a good resource is the BOD blog, Beachbody On Demand blog, like pulling information from there, just real quick little snippets. Like, why is it, you know, like if you're doing a water, I don't know, this is just an example. If you're doing like a free group for water, like one day you would talk about, you know, how much water do you need, and just really short and sweet. And then the next day, like, what's your water goal? Tell me why. Next day, you know, like these are like a few, like 1, 2 or 3 quick tips about like how to stay on top of your goal for the day. The 4th day, you know, like what does it do like for your muscles? and so it's just those kind of things. And it's just something really, really quick for somebody to come in and be like, huh, okay. And then like read it, snip it, maybe ask a question, and then move on.
Yeah.
So, and
I also found like I felt I was hesitant to post things that made it seem like I was an expert. I had a friend reach out to me in a very loving and polite way, but she's super fit, has a nutritionist, does marathons, does all these things. And she reached out and was like, I know you're a new Beachbody coach. I'm really proud of you. I'm really happy for you. I'd advise you not to give more advice than you know about. And it was an interesting moment just because I was like, oh, you're right. Because I'm not trained in anything. There's a reason that there are Beachbody trainers and coaches that are experts that run us through programs that do these workouts, that have all these nutrition things. So that kind of put things into perspective for me as far as what I posted, just because then I was hesitant to just Google and post whatever I thought would sound good. Yeah. Which is why I tried to use either reliable resources like the Beachbody blog, because then I felt like there are so many articles on there that had very not even factual, but just there were resources that that were trustworthy. So that was why I tried to, and I know, Martha, we haven't talked about this yet, but I really got very organized with my posts, and I was doing them for a whole month, but I tried to vary, giving a Beachbody, article, something informative. And then like that post that I think, Martha, you may have posted today with the, was it a goat and a bird?
Goat and the bird.
Like just fun, funny engagement, getting people talking about something that doesn't relate, but gets people talking.
Yeah.
Asking people this or that types of things, just getting that engagement and making it fun. Like you were talking about with the water. It doesn't have to be really long or tons of questions, but just kind of fun and light while still being informative and encouraging people and inspiring them.
Absolutely. That's actually another a good point, because I was actually going to address that as well. Like it doesn't always have to be just preachy and information. Like a free group is a great way to just interact and do like Kathy, you did the whole, like one of them has to go, like of the 4, like candy corn s'mores. Did you do that one?
That was that Mallory posted that.
Okay.
In there, but yeah.
But like that could be if you were doing a fall theme group, like just if it fits it, like just something fun like that fits the theme. Like it doesn't have to be all fitness. Like you want them to get like you want there to be like value and like something for them to learn and take away from the group, but it doesn't have to always be like this super intense, like heavy information like laden kind of thing.
Hey, Lisa, do you mind if I hop in your group and just take a peek?
It's really good.
No, I'm happy to. I mean, I'm not an expert. I don't exactly know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of winging it.
Oh, no, I'm
Martha
just,
and I
well, either am I. So
phone date.
You're a little further advanced there than I am.
It's just a matter of being like, this is what I want to tell people. This is what I would want to, like, and a lot of it is like, if I was in a free group, what would I want to do? Would I want to have like a novel every day to read and then answer a bunch of questions?
I don't have time for that.
So I would be, like I would want something fun and a little bit of information and some recipes every once in a while, and not just in the files, like not just like here's your meal plan, but like, hey, I found this, like real conversational, like fun. So the lighter the better, honestly. So
it's funny that you were talking about water, because when you said the water thing, I have totally switched what water we drink now because of Down to Earth.
Oh yeah.
Did you watch that?
Whenever I go get my water, and I bought bottled water from the store the other day, and I was like, wait a minute, am I getting the right kind?
I looked at Carrie, and I went in and looked at the water, and I went, well, no wonder why I'm so freaking thirsty all the time.
What's the right kind of bottled water?
It wasn't the right kind of water. And he goes,
have you seen Down to Earth yet, Lisa? That show?
Oh my gosh. It has a lot of good information in it.
I have it on my to watch list, but I haven't watched it yet.
It's really, really interesting. So, basically, like, yeah, that's funny. But yeah, and I mean, you could, if you did a water challenge, you could be like, hey, I learned this thing on this episode, like, you know, talk about that episode. And
Oh,
like,
I know.
like, so it's just real conversational. Like if you had a group of friends sitting down and y'all could meet once a week, or once a day for a week, and you just had a quick little like 5 minutes to like throw something at them, you know, add some value to their day, help them along in their journey a little bit. Like, what would you say? What would you want to talk about if you were sitting down real quick? You know, that kind of thing. So that's what I think of whenever I think of a free group. So yeah. Any other questions on that line?
Well, I was initially going to ask, how do I go backward and backpedal now that I have over 100 people that are like, yeah, I'm here, but I haven't bought anything, but yeah, I'm here.
I mean, I would just follow up, and we can talk about it more in depth as far as like specifics, like with specific people. Like I know that
I have not checked in with everybody since they've joined the group. So
and it's hard whenever you have a big group like that. Like it's hard. And we can talk about reaching out to them. I'm trying to think of like what I would say first, like my first like initial like contact with them would probably be something like, I'm so glad that you're in the group. I'm so glad that you've like decided to invest in your health in this way. I would love to help you move forward towards your goals. And so I just want to make sure, you know, like, is this group still something that is serving you well, and is a good use of your time, and you know, just kind of ask that question. And then if they say, yeah, it's great, it's wonderful, I love it, and then you can take it a step further and be like, okay, well, what kind of goals do you have moving forward? And what are the things that you foresee wanting to accomplish? And what are some of the struggles that you have that are keeping you from that? And then that brings up the need that you can kind of be like, hey, guess what? I'd really like to help you take that next step and step up your game a little bit. And I know that this is important to you because and so would it be okay for me to make some recommendations of some things that I really think would serve you well as you move forward in your journey? And they might
make sense.
They might not. Like, I mean, they might be like, no, I'm good. And I mean, if they really do have something that's serving them well, like if they have something that they're getting results with and something that that is really working well for them, that's great. But if they don't, that's when you kind of have to that's when it kind of starts becoming a little bit more of a like, okay, well, let's really get down to why are you interested in being in this place if everything is so great, you know,
right. I do have a few friends that either just bought a Peloton bike and are, you know, telling me that they've just invested in that and their spouse is not going to let them, you know, get Beachbody on Demand and whatnot. And so then I've tried to switch gears and say, okay, well, do you need any supplements? Do you have any protein shakes? Mm-hmm. This is what I really like, and kind of go down a different route just to see like how else, you know, I could support them that way. So I think I've got, I don't know, I hadn't really thought too much about following up with everybody in the group. And I'd say probably only a third of them are actively participating and the rest are just kind of lurking and watching and liking.
And that honestly,
and that's fine.
That is the name of the game. Like that is completely normal. I mean, look at our BAM group, like what, 170 some, like one time, I don't even know how many people are in there right now. And we have like, I just did, like we maybe have like 20. And on Monday, we have like 20 people checking in for their workout on Monday. And then by the time it gets down to the food journal on Sunday, we have like 6. So
it's hard to remember.
So, and it's a habit thing, and it is hard because we are not on, like we are on all the time. And so it's like, come on, y'all, let's just do this. But, and so there's some grace there for that, but there's also something to be said for, okay, well, like in really in the spirit of tough love, like you say you want to change, so let's actually do something to change that. Like let's actually do the thing, and let's kind of get over all of the excuses. And I've kind of come into a different season of like tough love and stuff like that in my coaching. I still don't like to talk to people like that. It still makes me antsy, but I do know that I'm not doing them any service if I'm babying them through something, especially something that they say that they want help with. And so I said that a lot. Okay, you told me, I remind them, I'm like, I remember we talked about this and you told me that you wanted X, Y, and Z. Do I have permission to call you on that? Do I have permission to confront some things that I'm seeing in love, knowing that knowing that I only am looking out for your good and your success? And if they need to redefine success, and that's the whole thing with this too, if you find that you are successful and feeling successful in a group where 20 people out of 100 are showing up and maybe 5 of those have bought something from you, and that is feeling successful for you, then there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Like, don't hear someone else saying or hear what someone else is doing and take that as like, well, if I'm not doing that, then I'm not successful.
That was my initial like, ooh, when I was listening to that.
Oh yeah.
Why I have a free Facebook group, and I was like, I'm giving it away for free. But the more I thought about it, like, I've been having fun with it. I mean, yes, it has taken time. Yes, it has taken work. But like, these are all people that are my friends. Most of them. Some are new. Yeah. But like, either way, it's been so fun. So like, yeah, for now, it's worth it.
No, that's what I want for y'all. Like, that's what I want. When I talk about defining success for you, and me like coming alongside you to define success for you, like that's what I'm talking about. Is like not where you come to the point where you come to me and you're like having a panic attack because you don't feel like you're doing it right. Like that is not success for you. And that's not, and I don't like feeling that way in my own journey and in my own like coaching. I want, like what really is most important is for you to say, you know what, it might not look like hers, but I love mine. Like what I have, I love and I'm happy with, and I'm feeling not, it's not always about like feeling fuzzy and feeling fulfilled and feeling like you're doing a good thing, but like when you're excited and you're having fun with what you're doing, like the opposite of that, where it steals your joy and you just have anxiety about it, like, ew, like, no, I don't ever want that for you. And so, and honestly, like, if you feel like you're in that place, like, let's turn around and let's go the other way, because then that's not serving you and your customers and your challengers and your coaches, and like, they will know, like, they will pick up on that. They will pick up on the anxiety. They will pick up on this is not so fun. I'm just doing this because I feel like I have to, or I'm just doing this because I feel compelled to. I feel like, like, as opposed to like, I'm doing this because I love it and it brings me joy. And I'm doing it in a way that I love and brings me joy. So if you're in a place where what you're doing brings you joy and you love it and you're having fun, don't, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Like, don't mess with something that is working. And like, maybe pick one thing that you want to improve on. Maybe it's that you want to reach out to those people and follow up with them and ask them if it's like how you can better support them this week coming up, or how you can, is this group still something that is serving you? And do you have any suggestions? Is there anything that you want to see more of in the group, or something that just isn't working for you right now? Or, asking those questions. And I think that shows that you care. And that's good. Like, it's good. And so I would be, it sounds to me, Lisa, and also you, Kathy, like, it sounds to me like just stepping into like what you want to do. Like, what do you want to do? How do you want to, do you want to run a free group? If you don't do it. Do you feel like are you wanting to run a free group because someone told you needed to? Or because you're like, hey, that might be a really fun thing. I would like to do a group about water, or I want to do a group about no sugar. Like we did like a, what is it? Like a 5-day no sugar after Halloween or something like that. Like, I mean, and it was fun and it was light and it was easy and people had fun. And then like, if they wanted to come over to the other group, that's great. If not, so like, that's what I want for y'all the most, I think, is for you to not feel good and feel fuzzy, but for you to find confidence in going with your gut, not giving in to what's easy, but going with your gut and being like, you know what? I really just need to keep doing what I'm doing. And that's good. And it's good.
I think it would be good practice for me.
Mhm.
So, so when I do run my own group, I mean, you know, like BAM,
Mhm.
you know, for my like Alyssa's and Tasha's and things like that.
Yeah.
I think it would be good practice, but
Mhm.
I also feel like it could possibly open some doors. But then
Yeah.
I already know that probably 90% of the people that sign up for the free group are not going to go any further
Yeah.
than the free group. I
And
mean,
that's okay. Like
and that's fine.
Yeah.
They got something out of it. Maybe I was just meant to be in their life for that moment. So,
Mm-hmm. A reason or a season. Like
yeah.
a reason as in like forever and we're going to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Or a season like you served a purpose and you met a need and you listened and you were a good friend and you got them eating vegetables again.
Exactly.
Or they
Or
started
drinking the right
working
water.
out. Yeah, like they drank more water, or they started working out 3 times a week. And maybe it's not Beachbody workouts, but they're moving their body and they feel better about themselves. Like,
Oh yeah, exactly.
so like that's the kind of success that I'm talking about, because and I say that because it was very easy for me to define success based on what someone else was saying was success for me, and it stole my joy and it bogged me down and it made me sad and it made me stressed, and I don't want that for y'all. So I will
Got to bring more positives to 2020 than less.
Yes, because
Mhm.
that's, gosh, don't we need it? Don't
Mhm.
we need it? So I love talking about these things, and I'm always going to bring it back to, what are you feeling good about right now? Like, what are you feeling good about that you're doing right now? How can we multiply that? How can we pick 1 or 2 things to improve on and work on? But how do we just keep moving forward, and how do we focus on the positive, and how do we focus on what we can do instead of what we can't, or what we are doing instead of what we aren't, or like, yes, we always want to improve, but let's just focus on what's really going to let's spend our time on what's going to move us forward and make us better. So I think that's good. I love that y'all wanted to talk about this tonight. I was going to talk about failing forward, and then I was like, but you know what? It was really funny because I was thinking about it today. I was just like, this is just not clicking. It's not working for me. So.
Well, and I think it worked out. It ended up being just me and Lisa who were both like curious on this
Curious
stuff right
about
now.
the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's perfect.
Yeah.
That is exactly.
Yeah.
I still feel like I have a million like very specific questions related to my group, but I don't know if I will be able to like articulate them all. So maybe
I do still have the message that you sent me where you typed out your questions and we were like, let's talk about that. I still have that. So
perfect, because I'm like, I don't even remember half the questions I asked you, but I probably have more now.
Like,
so
we can go back and reference that when we talk. Oh my gosh.
I'm glad I'm not the only one with children climbing.
If you haven't checked out my stories from this evening, you probably ought to go check them out.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Not gonna believe what I walked into after taking Carrie to work today.
Oh no.
I was
no.
pissed. And you
Oh,
can hear it in my
no.
voice. I was pissed.
I love you.
Mary Lou just messaged me, and that's what made me think of it. She says, "Oh my God, Mom."
Oh no. I'll go take a look at it. It looks like
Oh,
we're fixing to get kicked off, and I don't want
yeah.
to have to come back on and anything like that. But I know everybody's got.
Add me, Lisa.
So thank y'all.
I'm sorry, what?
Add me.
Yes.
Oh, I will. I made a note so I won't forget. I will. I'm just on my phone right now, so I can't do it at
No,
the same
you're
time.
fine. I'm
Okay.
messaging people too. So
Okay.
Thanks, Martha, for all the info.
Absolutely.
Good to see you.
Y'all too. Bye. Bye, loves.
Bye.
Bye.